Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Dadcast.
With the man them.
Boys, I've got a bit of news. I've got some good news stories to come up a bit later on, but I've got some bad news.
Okay.
In the Bristol Post, they have reported that Agora on Park Street is no more. It's been sold off, it's gone. So sweaty nights in Kiss Street are over. I was hoping that the first night after lockdown, go to the Spoons, make our way down, go to Agora, shake a leg.
You only mentioned that on Friday as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Bruv, well, yeah, but we are we not? I'm boycotting Spoons, man. Got to boycott them.
Okay.
Can we say that?
Well, you can express that you're boycotting them. That's absolutely fine. It's not an affiliation of BCFM or any of our sponsors.
That is a very, very good point. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
But yeah, it was just one of those things where I just saw it. It's like it's starting to get to a point where thinking about, where will be the place when we go out. It needs to be a good night when we go out, and I don't think I'm going to go out straight away as soon as places are letting people in the clubs. I won't be one of those people, but I do want to make sure the first time I do go out is a good time.
Yeah, I agree.
Over by you recently, Duppy, there was a bit of a community event going on. I saw there was a gazebo
Little-
out,
little,
music
little-
playing.
For real.
Little block party out the back of my house. Yeah, I didn't go because I'm still trying to socially isolate from people to an extent. But I couldn't miss it. I sat on my balcony and enjoyed it.
At
So,
the same
yeah.
time, you got the vibe, didn't you? Like, yeah, you're right there as well.
Yeah, I held up some people from the window. Like they seemed to be like, hey.
That's a one-lighter.
Have you boys been up to anything in particular this week?
Oh boy. More bike training for the kids. I mean, they got it down in 2 days. I'm just so proud. I feel so proud. I thought it was going to be a summer-long thing. Kida, she's so kamikaze. She just picked up. She don't business. I fall over, I get up. It's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
that's good.
She's just like, yeah. And she's just, riding on. Oh yeah, thanks for the bike. She's riding that without the stabilizers. So she's just going in on that. And Zaire as well. Resilience is key. He's just pushing along. He's like, no, I just want to do my own thing, and just it's cool. Just leave me, I'll do it. And he done it. So I'm proud of both of them. But apart from that, kids have been playing Animal Crossing, which is cool to see them. Again, pushing a bit on the consoles and kind of going outside of their comfort zone, especially Kida a bit. So and Sherelle's playing it as well. So that's
I've been tempted
cool.
to buy
Apart from
that.
we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I've heard good things about it.
What have you been on, Joe?
Yeah.
What have I been up to? Well, recorded 2 videos for Dadcast on the weekend. Me and Maisie did our next in review, which will be dropping this Thursday. So tune in and check that out. And also, I look a little bit top heavy because I've had a shave, but I haven't had a trim. That's because I had Malachi giving me a shave. So that video will be going up, and in less than 2 weeks now, Shavea will be trimming my hair.
Okay.
And I'm going to film it.
That's brave.
So the reason that we're doing it at the time we're doing it, which when this show goes out on BCFM will be at the end of the week, is because my barber's opens the next day. So she's going to trim my hair.
The rescue cut.
Right? So she's going to trim my hair for Dadcast, and then I'm going to be straight up at Raf's shop at 8:30 in the morning if I need to. Yeah. But that video so we've got 2 videos coming about me getting my hair cut by my kids, if anybody's interested.
Cool. That would be a good crack. See, I've showed that. Well, the girls knew about The Sims already, but they've been playing it by themselves on the PC. Wow. Somebody in the comments has just said 1, 2, 3 dead trims. That's harsh because Kinney went to a barber recently. That's bad mind. So the kids have been playing The Sims on the PC. And I recently got the PS2 out. But the control pads we've got for the PS2 all don't work in different ways. So I bought 2 PS2 pads and the original Sims game on the PS2. Because it's the only Sims game that was on console, to my knowledge, that you could do split screen. So there's no half and half on the mouse and keyboard. They can both just play the Sims same time. So yeah, that's there for the kids to crack out the PS2. They got SingStar as well on there.
My girls play The Sims, and what they do is they befriend someone with a rich house. they get friendly enough to move in, and then they make that person drown themselves, and they get to keep the house.
Wow.
I think it's a little bit dark.
What? That's some sinister movement.
Wow.
I know. It's dark, mate. It's dark.
The thing I've had to, the thing I've had to like say to the girls as well. I said to them the other day. I was like, the thing that you will learn on The Sims is that you think that time's hardly moved, but time has gone way quicker than you think. And they thought I meant in the game. And I was like, no, I mean real life.
Real life.
They're like, oh, we're just gonna do this. Like, girls, on The Sims, nothing is just gonna do. Like, there's always something more to do. There's always something else to do.
Yeah. And before we move on real quick, can I just give a big shout out to Shauna? It was her birthday yesterday. She's a friend of the show.
Yes.
She's been on the show, so I just wanted to say happy birthday to my good brethren, Shauna.
Happy birthday, Shauna.
Thanks for all the support.
Oh, well, if you're doing shout outs, so the shout out to my mum. She's actually tuned in right now. So shout out to my mum. Also, I don't know what Jason's going to talk about in terms of good news stories. I don't know if he's mentioning the new arrivals. I don't know.
I was not. That was it. No, mine are articles. So you can welcome people into the club.
So just want to give a shout out to, one of my best friends, welcoming him to the, new Dad's Club. Nick and Charlotte O'Hara. It's just amazing first child, son. So on Father's Day as well, which is amazing. So give a shout out to you and your lovely wife. Also want to give a shout out to our recent guest, Fame Black. Indeed, he was on a recent show, and him and his partner have now had a child, which he delivered. He actually delivered the baby, so he will be on the show to talk about that. It's just mad. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Fame because he did put a comment in saying stabilizers is such a cool word that he wishes Americans use.
I think it's just training wheels, isn't it, for them?
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, and you get that thing. So on our car we have indicators because they indicate the direction you go, and Americans have blinkers because the light blinks. So my news stories, and I think the way I've set this up, I should be able to show it for our viewers that are able to see the show. Sorry for our BCFM listeners, but I'm reading out the article, so you're not missing out on much. But if I click, so this is titled "The Dad Gang is on a mission to help fix the racist missing black father myth." Now, what this is just talking about is about trying to dispel the kind of the myth that there is that black dads aren't around for their kids, and trying to break those stereotypes, much like what we're trying to do with Dadcast with the Man Them in trying to break stereotypes. Sean Williams, a 37-year-old father of 3 and black man, was sick of hearing white neighbours in his new Long Island neighbourhood praise him for being a dad who acts like one. And that thing he felt was bothersome, but it was casually racist. The stereotype's just not true. To get a compliment about sticking around for your child or being an active dad is insane, is what he told CBS News. But what I quite liked is, according to the Americans' National Center for Health Statistics, black fathers bathe, dress, and diaper change, or nappy change, their children they live with on a daily basis more than any other racial group, which I thought was an interesting statistic. So yeah, he's trying to kind of break the stigma around dads being known as not being around, and so yeah, he's got the Dad Gang, and so you can find them on Instagram, just loads of kind of clips of dads being dads and just helping to dispel those myths, which is again similar to what we're doing in that we're trying to break down the kind of stereotypes that there are of dads, particularly negative ones. We're trying to break those down and help dads be more positive and active in their children's lives.
I think that's so powerful and that's so important, and it's crazy how ingrained that idea is about black dads. Like, it's the butt of jokes from black people, white people, all, do you know what I mean, from all over. It's commonplace in media. Like, it's crazy how ingrained that concept of a black dad not being around is. And it's like anything with any systemic racism. If you grow up around, if you're black yourself or you grow up around black people, you know that that's not the case, because some dads are around, some aren't, like anything else. But if you've never met anybody who's black and that's your only opinion of it, it's just it's mad. So I think it's so important what they're doing, and equally what we're doing, and yeah, more of it, I think.
How did that make you feel, that article, Kent, being a black dad?
Yeah, kind of just echoing what Joe said. Like, it's a shame that narrative is there, and that thought process is there, and just like us, continuing to kind of distinguish that stigma. And similar to what Joe said, it's horrible where people are having this thought process, especially if they have never met a black dad, because 9 times out of 10 they probably met a black dad, they'll meet a black dad with their children. You know what I mean? So it's it's an annoying thing, but just like us, we will support any kind of any organization or enterprise that tries to extinguish that stigma. It just shouldn't be there. And I think we've kind of got to push the boat a bit in terms of how we eradicate that.
I don't think I've ever experienced somebody kind of complimenting me on being a dad. Have you guys experienced that at all? Somebody making a comment of?
I have. So I've had people surprised at how really praise me for how involved I am. Like it's like that Chris Rock thing, innit? Like, what do you want, a cookie?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, like it's like that, but it's like, yeah. So I've been praised before for being like, oh my gosh, you're so hands-on. I can't believe how hands-on you are. I can't believe how much you do. Like, I've had that before. Or you're so they're so lucky to have you. I get a lot. So my as listeners of the show will know, my younger three are not mine biologically, and I've had a lot of people say they're so lucky to have you. They're so lucky to have you. And yeah, they are lucky to have me, but I always come back with what I'm lucky to have them too. Do you know what I mean? They've really shaped my life and really helped me grow. And yes, the situation and the dynamic isn't necessarily a typical one, but I was with their mum for a long enough period of time when they were young to have built that bond. So for me I chose to be a father figure to them, and I chose to continue that after me and their mum broke up. And 5 years on nearly, the situation is a positive situation. But so I get that it's not a normal situation, but it's frustrating when they're telling me how lucky my kids are. And I'm like, well, no, it's just family,
Yeah, I hear that. But at the same time, Dubs, from the outside, like, what you have done is just completely unscripted. Like, being honest,
Yeah.
like you said, you made that choice, and yeah, a lot of people, just that thing when a relationship like ends, it tends to be that one of the hardest parts is cutting ties with that person's family, and that's whether they've got kids or not. That's when you're meeting like mums and uncles and all this kind of stuff. Ending those relationships is often quite difficult too. But yeah, it's also really good that you've continued to be that father figure, and still continue to do that. So yeah, you might hate those compliments, but that is because that is quite unprecedented. I haven't heard of that happening until you did it. So yeah, but
and it mirrors your character. It mirrors your character. It mirrors you. Obviously, I've known you for a very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? So it very much mirrors your character. So yeah.
One thing I have had is well, in fact, I don't think it's ever happened when I've been there, but Nicholas had it where people ask if the kids have the same dad. Obviously, my girls do look a little bit different, but at the same time, it's this kind of notion, and like at the time, I guess it was just that thing of the littler one is clearly mixed race. Did they both have the same dad? And Nicholas like, yeah. And so like that's happened a few times. I guess with yours, Joe, considering 3 are brown and 1 is not, it's kind of a bit clear, and you won't get those questions necessarily. But like,
so no, I get questioned on it, and I get the thing. What frustrates me is the ignorance of people. So. My children are mixed. My eldest is white. My younger 3 are mixed. Their dad is black, and their mum is mixed race, right? So they're fairly dark skinned. However, I've met mixed race people whose one parent is white and one parent is black, who are as dark as them, or even darker. So it's like people assume that they're not mine, or they try and work out how. They're like, and I had some people who I didn't really know really prying, like, so did you adopt them? And I didn't want to explain because they were coming quite ignorant.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, their mum's not white. Like, do you know what I mean? And I kind of left it at that because I couldn't be bothered to explain. Obviously, I've got no problem talking about it, but yeah, it irritates me when people do it and they don't know me and they're not interested in anything apart from why my kids are different colors.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You must see it coming by their reaction. You can see them adding up in their head, like the 2 carry the 10 minus the 5, 3, and wait, what? Like you could see it happening.
The other day I was in the park playing football with Mally, and it just literally out the back of my house, the little circle park, And a woman was walking by, and she was like, "Excuse me," and I said, "Yeah." I said, "Excuse me, is that your child?" And I said, "Yeah."
What the? It's
It's
you know,
like,
I only laugh because of how like I can't imagine what that person was thinking to Sonia been like.
well, so
That
it was
white
like,
man's playing with a black child.
well, it was an older black lady, and I think that she maybe was worried that I was some random white guy that had started talking to this kid in the park in the middle of St. Paul's. But so I'm not trying to like just really hate, but it was like, and she was old, and and I was just like, yeah, no, he's mine.
To be fair, I don't remember because I was so little, but my dad said about one time we was at market way back in the day, and somebody stopped him. So my dad's white, for those that don't know. Somebody stopped him and asked him what he was doing with my mum's son. And then he had to explain, because my mum and dad haven't been together since I was like 1. And yeah, he had to explain, like, no, this is my son. But there was a moment where a person spotted me, and again, this white man, like, whoa, hold on, what are you doing with Sharon's child? What are you doing? And yeah, he had to kind of explain that. But yeah, I think, so a comment that's come up has said that people will always think it's the dad that step out and forget that sometimes mums step out and dads step up and take on both roles, which has happened sometimes. And even in your case, Joe, like, mum hasn't stepped out, but you've still stepped up. And yeah, I think it's easily forgotten. People come from so many different angles, you get situations where mums have passed on and dads have had to step up and take roles. There was somebody that Kenny knew, and it was a similar story, wasn't it, that mum had passed away and dad was as time's gone on, dad's in a new relationship, and yeah, they're kind of doing their thing. Like, there's each to their own. There's always different scenarios. On our Instagram and on our Facebook, we put up a post on Father's Day, and it was just saying, like, whether you are near or far, as long as you're doing all you can, like, big up you in it, because you can't always be there for your kids the whole time. I sent another article over to my computer, but it's not showed up. So I do apologize. I'm going to go to my phone for this one. But I thought it was amazing. So people have been experiencing quarantine up and down the country. And there is a dad who travelled... Oh, I can't find it now. There was a dad that travelled 17-hour drive. There you go. 1,100 miles. 17-hour drive just to surprise his daughter with 30-minute socially distanced lunch for her birthday. Which I thought was just mad. And I think for us in the UK, I think to drive top to bottom takes about 10 hours, 11 hours.
Yeah. Well, 7 hours from here to Newcastle.
Yeah, and that's just England, and obviously you've got the whole of Scotland. But in America, the states, people think that they're right next to each other, but people will drive hours going state to state. And this devoted dad, drove more than 1,000 miles round trip just so he could spend half an hour with his daughter and wish her happy birthday during lockdown. 53-year-old Julio Cesar Segura spent 17 hours on the road driving across Texas from El Paso to Austin and back so he could join his daughter Diana for a socially distant lunch on her 19th birthday.
That's big.
I like that.
That's mad.
Yeah, the things we did for our kids, man.
That's what I'm saying. You especially to make sure that you're in their lives.
Yeah.
And even if it's just to allow them to show you appreciation on Father's Day, you know what I mean? Like, that's just nice, man.
Yeah, and it's that thing where he got up at 3:30 a.m., left his house at 4:15 a.m. He said he was missing her and wanted to give her a surprise, so he decided to go the day before, like, wanted to make sure she had a good birthday. But, like, the funny part of me is, like, if I try to do it for my kids, say one of the girls goes to uni somewhere up north and I decide to drive and surprise them, I bet you any money she would have been out. Like, even on, like, just a little walk. Like, as I get there, I'm like, do with, like, balloon and stuff. No one's answering. Like, ring her. Where are you? Oh, I thought I'd go for a walk. Like, we've gone for a drive. We've gone for a drive one state over to go for a walk. Like, what? But yeah, it's just an amazing story, and I just hope that I can find ways to do things like that for the girls, like just go an extra mile just to remind them. Like, it is simple going for a drive, but actually that far, just to see.
I know. I thought Cheltenham was bad. I've done it for Cheltenham before for Maisie, so I surprised her on her birthday, not on the day, but I picked her up to take her camping, I think, on her 9th birthday. Just me and her went camping, and she had no idea, so I'd arranged it with her mum. Her mum had packed her bag or whatever, and I drove and surprised her. But that's a 45-minute drive. That's not.
It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts.
That's the thing. So there's been a few times where, like, as dads, we do some stuff to, like, surprise the kids. So I remember one Easter, when, like, when they were in bed, I like made up this scavenger hunt of loads of little eggs like around the house, and I had them going around the house, out to my car, back in. Like each bit's had like different clues, and I think I had it spelling like Happy Easter on them when you put them all together. And yeah, the kids have like never forgot that one. They wanted it every year after that, but I was like, nah.
No, you got to do it one off. So remember one off.
Yeah, exactly. Kins, have you got anything that you've done for your kids that have like caught them by surprise?
Probably one can't come to mind real quick, but I'm just trying to think of Legoland was a cool surprise. We let Zaire like open an envelope, so that was the gift, and he kind of, I think the gift part of the voucher just basically says, oh, we're inviting you to Legoland and stuff, and he was just like, oh, because that's what he said he wanted, and yeah, that was so cool. But as we always say, it always ends in tears. It was a good trip, but it ends in tears because he didn't want to go. He didn't want to come back.
Okay, yeah, wanted to stay.
So, yeah.
I did the same. I did the same thing for Comic Con when me and Maisie went Comic Con. It was in the October, and her birthday's in July. So the present I made her was like the road to Comic Con. So it was the first present she got was the envelope, and she was like, "What's this?" And then opened it and got super gassed. And then there was I did a board, like a pin board, like a chalkboard kind of thing, and I'd painted like a road on it with the number of weeks that she was down between now and then, and each time she had another envelope with a different Lego superhero in it, so she got all villains, so she kind of got her little road to Comic Con going on. That was quite a good one. I like that.
That sounds wicked.
Have you seen the videos of people when they like surprise their kids with Disneyland and stuff? Have you seen those?
Yeah, and
like, the kids like go mad. And I remember one of my old colleagues, Kelly, and she showed us the video because she told the kids they're going on holiday and normally they go to Cornwall, and then she showed the video and she's like, oh right guys, we're going to Disneyland, and her son started crying. He's like, I wanted to go to Cornwall. And it's like, he had a wicked time. Like when he went, he did have a good time, but it was just so funny watching that video because she wanted to like capture this moment. And I just, I would just love to keep a video like that just to show the kids, like, forget about it for years and be like, this was your response. Do you know how much you're trying to take your kids to Disneyland? Do you know how much that costs? And I wanted you to be happy, and you cried at the thought of it.
Well, let's flip this round though. Let's flip this round. Have any of you guys, been surprised by your parents, with a gift that made you maybe not cry, but kind of be super surprised?
Do you know what? It was a Christmas gift surprise, but it was when like the N64 was out, and I remember just seeing this present on the sofa and just knowing what it was straight away. But like I had to wait, and I remember I hugged Mum, and that brought a tear to my eye because I was like, yes, I've got the N64. But yeah, like we didn't really have any surprise holidays or anything like that because we know they were coming. But yeah, I think the N64 stands up there for me because I don't think I've cried at a gift. Other than my kids.
Yeah. I got two things really. So my dad always used to do fun things with presents, which I think is where I got it from. So he didn't always remember my birthday, but when he did, he would so he would do things like I wanted a Super Soaker one year, the Super Soaker 500, the big one, and he bought this massive box which was as big as me, and it was filled with the little polystyrene shapes. And and at the bottom, like I literally had to dive into it. And at the bottom, there was like a 99p little water squirter and stuff. So he'd do things like that, or like he bought my sister a bike. But so he'd always talk to us about what we wanted, but then he'd do something with it. So he bought my sister a bike. So she woke up in the morning and ran out, and there was a wheel wrapped up. And he was like, "Well, I couldn't afford the whole thing, so I'll buy you the frame for Christmas." Do you know what I mean? So he just funny things like that. But my mum was, I think, the one really that sticks to mind is. It was when my back was bad. So for listeners who don't know, I missed 3 years of secondary school. I had a bad back. I couldn't really go out much. Didn't really have contact with many people. Got quite depressed and stuff. And this is when Zelda on the 64 came out. And I'd been reading the reviews for like reading all the Nintendo monthly magazines and all of this, getting super gassed, like showing my mum everything. And I was so excited. I was probably about 13. And it was all sold out everywhere, like completely sold out everywhere. Like it was proper sold out. But she went down to Game, I think it was Game Station at the time, and she basically managed to sob story her way to someone else's copy of Zelda.
Legend.
So she came back and I was very happy. And yeah, I think it was someone who hadn't picked up their pre-order or something, but she basically sob storied it up. And yeah, and I got my game. That was, yeah. What about you, Kenny? Did your parents ever?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was tough, innit? So you're not gonna, get loads of like big stuff. But I suppose the biggest one was when my dad told me that he was gonna help me buy my first car, and that was huge, because I'm there saving, and and then he comes out with, I'm gonna do this for you, and I was just like, yo. And then it was so close to when he said that to then get in the car. So it was just like, what, like, this is happening like now. Like, this is big. But, this wasn't my parent, but this is my sister. My sister, I remember when I think it was my 10th birthday. I think my sister's watching now, actually. I remember going on about, this Geo Safari. I remember just looking in the Argos catalog and they're saying, oh yeah, Geo Safari. And my sister's a lot older than me. And then I remember on my 10th birthday, she come with this box, and I just looked and I was just like, just shocked. I couldn't believe I got this Geo Safari. I rinsed that out so much. Like, Geo Safari is like it's not like a console, but it's like how can I explain it?
An
it's
interactive
like
learning
kind
experience?
of a stand-up interactive learning experience. Yeah. So it's like a stand-up screen, and then you get loads of loads of different like binder cards that you can stick on, and it starts to interact with it. So it had map of the world and different facts about the world and nature and loads of different things, and like it had loads of cards. So you would just be there for ages, just like sticking it, and it'll be talking to you and telling you different stuff, and you'd be learning. I loved it, man. Like, literally, I loved it, because that was one of the, like, I mean, you might know how it is, like, getting stuff brand new. It's very like rare, the kind of rarity where Power Rangers is out for 3 years, and that's when you're getting the first Power Ranger kind of figure from car boot sale, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. So to get something brand new, it was just it was a big deal.
You saying that reminds me of how, like, when I was younger, I wanted Action Man, and then I didn't get an Action Man until I was too old to have an Action Man, just because they were so expensive. So never got one. Then when we could get one, it was a bit late.
It's crazy how expensive toys are and were back then, because when I look back and stuff, and like you had the Furbies and all of this kind of stuff, but they were all so teeth, like everything was so expensive. So we were the same. Yeah, me and Hannah, me and my sister used to have the game where you sit with the Argos catalog and circle what you would take from that page. You could pick one thing on the page that was yours, and we used to play that game forever.
It's that thing where back in the day as a kid, you would get the catalog and flip it over. Like, adults go for the front, but us kids flip it over.
Yeah, loved it.
Games were at the back, man. Everybody knows that. Kids don't have that now, really, innit? My kids don't really look through any catalogs. They shop online. Like, Tasia will ask for my card details because she wants to buy something online. Like,
oh wow,
what's your response to that?
So it depends. So normally it's her saying, "I've got the cash. Can you pay with your card?" Because she's obviously not got a bank account. So Tasia's always got a little hustle going on, whatever that might be. That's helping her mum with some like food business stuff, or doing what she's doing with sweets. She's always got a little bit of cash, and so it's normally her own money. So I know that she's responsible enough online that she doesn't save the details anywhere of my card and this and that. So it's fine. It's only annoying when she flipping gets something and wants to return it, and I've got to be the one to return it because I'm the one with the flipping card.
Well, I still got Argos catalog, because I kind of around birthdays and Christmas, whatever, kind of sneakily just put it on the table, and just, do you want to read that? And they just kind of go for it, and they just start circling stuff, like, or just randomly start circling stuff, or just be like, oh I want that. And the thing is, especially Kida, like, she just likes lists. She'll just write stuff down. This is, and you could just find it and you just see it, and she'll be writing like, I want on this, like on this, and you can clearly see like this is she's scripting out something that she's waiting for. You know what I mean? Like so.
Did I tell you guys about how stressed like Jess was getting because she couldn't pick anything and she couldn't realize why she couldn't pick anything? And when we looked at it, it's because like last year it was more watching things on Netflix or shows that we'd recorded on the TiVo, so she'd fast forward through the adverts and stuff, and she realised that she'd never watched live TV, so she never actually watched adverts. So she didn't know what she wanted because she didn't have the adverts telling her what it was, so she was like struggling.
That's interesting, yeah.
So yeah,
That's
but
right.
again, we've got, I think that's Mrs. Clarkson from Bristol, has said that always gets an Argos catalogue that way for the girls to look at near Christmas. So tradition lives on. We're forcing them to live through what we did.
Tis the way, tis the way.
Well, I've got another story for you boys. This one is coming from The Independent. And the headline on it says, fathers do 58% more childcare in lockdown than they would normally do, survey finds. And another thing that interested me with this, and I don't know if it's just because of current times and trends, if that's why they've done it, but it is a black dad holding his child in the top image, which I thought was an interesting one, because you don't usually see that.
Which newspaper?
This is The Independent. Yeah, and it just says that fathers in the UK naturally are spending more time looking after their children in lockdown. Research from the Office for National Statistics found that the number of hours men spending on childcare has increased by an average 58% since it began in March. They had a survey of 1,300 families between 28th of March and 26th of April. And it's that thing where men's weekly working hours has fallen by an average of 11%. And it's that in 2015, men spent 39% of the time women spent on childcare. And yeah, and this rose up to 66%. So it just kind of, that has been a nice thing that we've all mentioned about spending more time with the kids via lockdown. I know, Joe, for a little while you were finding it really hard when you were isolating. And it was that thing where, yeah, you couldn't wait to kind of see the kids again. Because of the way that things are, literally just there. So I'd say 2 or 3 feet to my left is my children's bedroom door. So while I've been working from home, I can hear them all day playing and chatting with them and that kind of stuff. I know it's not necessarily childcare, but it's a lot more interaction through the day than what I'd normally get, obviously, being at work.
Makes it hard to work, but yeah, it's good. It's nice.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult at the beginning, you know, before I was furloughed. Obviously homeschooling and stuff, and spending you know, the quality time with the kids. But you know, since I've been furloughed, man, I tell you what, it's just been like, it's been such a blessing. Like, I've loved every minute of spending every minute of the day with my kids, you know what I mean? Because they would normally be at school and I'll be at work, and to be able to be involved in what they're learning, you know, it's just been amazing. And you know, when your kids get older, we can't get that time back. You know what I'm saying? We can't get that time back. So to be able to just spend that quality time, all by, you know, obviously a pandemic and stuff, but it's just been cool, man. Like today, Keda's been like, oh yeah, can you play with me? Like, can you help me make a den? Can you help me make an obstacle course? Like, can you do the obstacle course with me? You know what I mean? Like, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just, it's wicked.
See, Jada taught me something new the other day, and I can't remember what it is. Hold on, let me see. I normally tell them to be quiet. 1 second. Jada, what did you teach me the other day? Do you remember what it was?
Was that whales and mammals?
It wasn't whales or mammals. It was something else. What was it? Don't remember. If it comes to you, let me know. But that was something that was cool. Is that like we were talking? No, baby. We were talking, and yeah, she said something. I was like, do you know what? I actually didn't know that, and I think the kids think that I know almost everything. And so it was quite nice for me to go, oh, actually, you just taught me something new, and it shows that you do learn something every day. And if I wasn't with her all the time, then I wouldn't have. That conversation wouldn't have happened, you know.
No, that's really nice. What do you guys think on this statistic then? So in your households, what percentage-wise is it split? And is that down to work, or is that down to, what's it down to, and how's it split? Should we go with Kinney?
I suppose, like, what, now?
Yeah, no, normally, when in normal day-to-day life, like how is the childcare split?
50-50. Yeah.
So you're able to do some school runs, and
I do. Well, to be fair, I do majority of the school runs, the pickups, to be fair. But sometimes they're after school club. But yeah, it's 50-50.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
See, for me, it's not like that. It's mostly Nicola, to be fair. And I think part of it is just the kind of person Nicola is. She looks after all of us, and you know, even when you try and do things, she hovers over you and tries to do it for you. She'll like close the freezer while I'm in the middle of getting stuff out and doing something. It's just like those kind of like doting ways that she does. But yeah, like, you know, the job that she does, she loves doing that because she can still do drop-offs and pickups. One of the main things for her is that she didn't want work to be over the kids. You know, we all have to work, we've got bills to pay, but trying to find a job that allows you to do the drop-off and pick-up every day without having to use breakfast clubs or without having to use after-school clubs, you're really stuck to find it. And that's why she loves the job that she does. But at the same time, particularly when I was working like locally and more close to home, because the kids' school just up the road, I would find moments that I could to turn up at their school and do a pickup without saying anything. You know, first days of school, I was late into work because I said I'm taking them for their first day. Like, I'll be straight to work as soon as that's finished. The other half has said that she's a control freak and put a laughing emoji up on there. I wouldn't say it's that bad. But yeah, so it's definitely, she definitely does a lot. And, you know, they make the jokes about you, like, marrying your mother and stuff like that, or finding your spouse ends up being like your mother. And my mum's a person that did everything for us lot. And I think that, yeah, it's just quite funny how I found somebody who just does everything for us. And like I said, you'll try and do things, but she doesn't drive, I drive. But do you know how often she will be reluctant to ask me to drop them off anywhere? And how many times I have to, like, almost have a go at her and say, just ask me! Just ask me. Like,
it's not my car, it's our car.
No, it's my car, but I will drive her in.
I think we're coming to the end of the show now, guys.
Oh, right. Let me know.
Time is going quick when you're having fun.
But we
always
will
fun
be,
with these boys.
We will be back in the BCFM studios from the 6th of July. So people that have got used to this kind of format, it will be changing again. This will be the end of this Convos from COVID segment if you ever catch it on YouTube or on podcast. But yeah, we will be back in the BCFM studio. We will be in pairs though, just because with social distancing and the size of the studio, we are unable to get all three of us in the studio at once and keep safe. So yeah, for a little while, we'll be doing it in duos. Those that go to Dadcast with the Mandem will be used to the duos anyway, because that's how we run it there. But yeah, make sure you are locked in, tuned in, subscribed. Dadcast with the Mandem or at Dadcast WTMD. Boys, any final messages, call out, shout outs, messages? I said messages twice.
Just a quick shout out to Cheska Bakes. Thank you for the bake sales you were doing with donations to Dadcast for the Mandem. So they donated just over £40 towards Dadcast for the Mandem for all the good work we've been doing, supporting fathers and giving them a platform. So I want to give a shout out to Francesca. You can find her at Cheska Bakes. Wicked bakery in Cleveland. So make sure you check her out. I'm sure she'll be involved in stuff that we do and events and stuff in the future. So shout out to Francesca.
Wicked, yeah.
Any shout outs, Dubs?
Nah, I'm done. I gave my shout outs earlier. Shout out to Mumsy.
Okay, easy. Thank you everybody for being tuned in, for listening in, for watching in. We appreciate you all. There's nothing more to say except for Fatherhood
doesn't come with a manual.
See you later.